Fencing materials is part of the unit Care for a Horse at Grass. We'll look at learning outcome number 1, know the needs of a horse kept at grass, and assessment criteria 1.2, list 3 suitable materials to use for fencing. Fencing for a horse paddock can be permanent or temporary. Permanent fencing is traditionally constructed from wooden posts and long wooden rails. This post and rail fence will last between 10 and 20 years if it's looked after properly, and is strong enough to stand horses rubbing on it or pushing their heads through the rails. Some horses may chew the wood, which can make it look unsightly and will shorten the life of the fence too. By adding a strand of electric tape, it can help to protect the fence from both chewing and rubbing. If you want to establish a hedge on one side of the fence, it's important to keep the horses from eating the young plants. You can add small mesh wire, such as chicken wire, which will stop the horses from pushing their noses through. Hedges can be allowed to grow tall to provide shade in the summer and protection from the wind in the winter, or they can be laid every 7 to 10 years to keep them nice and thick. Posts with white sight wire can be used where you're not expecting the horses to be unsupervised for long periods. A fence which is only needed for a few years while a tree or hedge becomes established could be made from wooden posts with electric tape attached. Or you could increase the height of the fence with some wire to protect the growing tips of young trees. A fence which only needs to last a few days can be made from electric fence posts and wire. This can be easily moved to allow for strip grazing the paddock. It's important to think of the impact on the landscape of the fencing that you choose. Whatever type of fencing you choose, it needs to be safe and secure for the horses. To meet the assessment criteria, you need to list 3 suitable materials to use for fencing.